and we're back with another fireside chat with one of our leaders. I'm delighted to spend this morning with our Chief of Operations for across Europe, someone who I've recently had the opportunity to be on the road with, hear some interesting stories, some stories that I'd love for you to know as well. So without further ado, let me introduce our amazing speaker this morning, Gonzalo Aguilar. Great to have you here with us, Gonzalo. So I'm going to start with the first question around your journey as a hotelier. You've had almost 3 decades now as a successful hotelier, I should say. What keeps you excited even today? When you wake up in the morning, what sort of keeps you going? And I'll add a certain second layer to the question. Is there something that you would change from your journey so far?
So I think what keeps me excited about our business is really the opportunities that it's created for me. Over my career, I've been able to work in Latin America, in the US, in Europe, incredible destinations my family and I have moved to. And it's really, been able to evolve in different disciplines. I started in food and beverage, and that's one of my big passions is food and beverage. But I learned a great deal in sales and marketing and the other parts of our business. And what keeps me excited is that it's always evolving. Our business has really changed quite a bit, but I think that's also really what keeps a lot of talent in our industry is that it's never the same. Every day is going to be different. And I live that today in my current role too. Every day I'm normally in a different destination and experiencing something new.
Yes.
So it's really a great opportunity.
Would there be anything you would change in your path? Is there something you say, maybe I should have done this, or maybe I should have added this? Is there something, or you're very thankful for the journey?
I feel blessed. I think I've taken every opportunity as it's come. I always encourage people, don't pass on opportunities, lean into it. So I can't think of anything I'd change.
Amazing, lovely. So you do spend a lot of time on the road, and I will say, this year I have also spent a lot of time on the road, and you sort of have these your own personal quirks and these own personal spots of comfort. When you are on the road and you're spending time at our hotels, what do you look for as that comfort away from home?
So I believe, many of our hotels may think differently, but I believe I'm pretty low maintenance. So what I look for is really a sense of place. When I come into our hotels, I like to know which market I'm in, which city I'm in. So I really look for that sense of place. And then I also look for, that preference, that the hotel understands what my preferences are. I always think about sometimes I'll arrive and they may have a bottle of champagne in the room. Well, I'm there for work. Unfortunately, I don't really have time to enjoy it. So that's not really what I'm looking for. And other times I go in and people know exactly what I prefer. I have lots of water, or perhaps a Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke. So it's it's those type of preferences that they understand what I need.
Okay, is there a one sort of time that someone got your preference completely wrong and maybe had a unicorn in the room?
Oh yeah, I think that it happens more often than not. I don't want to call anyone out, but yeah, you show up and you're like, no, I don't really. It's not easy for them to know, also, right?
Sure.
But it's understanding, I guess, what our guests need. It's really an art form, right? And we have a lot of tools to help us do that, but it's really how you connect with the guest. And some of them have really understood that over time. And I obviously go back to many hotels over and over again, and they learn my routine very, very quickly. So
okay, that's good to know. Now, in terms of us getting to know you a little bit better, because this is a fireside chat with you, and we're talking about luxury this morning. Is there a brand that you really like or you really love in the luxury space outside the hospitality, and why?
So the one that, and obviously with my role and my lifestyle, the one brand I would tell you, a luxury brand, is Rimowa. The luggage, it's really about being able to the convenience of it. It's reliable. But I'll tell you, actually, the one thing that impressed me most is I've gone through a couple pieces, and I've broken them a couple times after so much use. I went back to the shop, and the service is incredible. They replace it, they repair it, and all free. And it's really created that loyalty with me, because if I have to buy a new piece of luggage, I always go back to Rimowa over and over again.
And is it a combination of the fact that they recognize you? Is it the fact that it's now convenience, because sometimes luxury is about convenience. Correct. As well? What really stays with you in terms of that brand connection? Because it's not a brand for everyone.
Correct.
It is a very high-end brand in that space.
Well, again, I think it's the convenience, it's the design, it's also the way it's built. It's built to last. It's not. I would not say it's entry-level luggage. It's a high-end, as you said, but it's really about the product itself, but also that what actually does the connection for me is that service, where they take pride in their product and say, okay, it broke, but now I'm going to fix it, and it's on us. Yeah.
So taking onus as well. That's important in the luxury space, to say, okay, how can we make it better?
Correct.
Great. Today you head up all our brands across Europe. Prior to your current role, you led our luxury brands in some amazing markets, some really interesting gateway markets. My question around those amazing markets is, how do they continue to be so much in demand? When we look at recovery today, they've bounced back in ways that we would have not anticipated. What makes them different?
Yeah, many of these destinations are on the bucket list for many of our loyal customers. But those hotels have really created experiences within those markets that keep them coming back over and over again. But as I look across my new area of responsibilities, you can see emerging markets where our luxury hotels have really blossomed in these locations and are bringing out new experiences, and really is along the lines of where the luxury traveler's going now. They're looking for something new, something authentic, something very local. So we see that coming across many different markets, and I think that will continue on into the future.
You bring an interesting point about local and localization. So I'm going to go to the next question, which is a subject matter close to your heart, F&B. In these amazing destinations, or even up-and-coming destinations like here, Dubai, you have a very wide sort of culinary scene. What, according to you, is those trends that our leaders on property should be thinking about when they're looking at F&B per se, and what's really leading the way into the future, I would say?
So obviously across Europe, I think we have those markets that have such a strong, let's say, culinary culture, local culture. So it's very easy to create those experiences for our guests. What I see, whether that's, if you look at some of the recent awards in the world's best 50, we see markets like Barcelona and the bar scenes growing tremendously. But I think one of the biggest trends that I would say is coming is the whole sustainability is also coming into F&B. So how do we get more local with our products? How do we have responsible sourcing? And that's in all of our hotels and across all of our markets. So I really think that that's going to move us forward. And our culinary teams and our F&B teams really need to think through, how do I create some incredible experiences, but keeping that sustainability front and center.
What a great session with Gonzalo this morning. I hope you enjoy all the little insights that he had to share as much as I did. I learned a few things about him as we chatted. And I look forward to coming back to you with another great speaker from across our company. Thank you.